I was helping my dad edit a video the other day when I stumbled into Microsoft Clipchamp, a free video editing program that came pre-installed on his laptop. I'd never heard of it before, and I was going to exit out and go on my merry way until I saw this. AI video editing. I was beyond curious, but highly skeptical. I had the same question you probably have. I mean, this can't actually edit a good video, can it? I'm here to start answering that question. Like many things in the AI sphere, it's not perfect. Far from it, to be honest. But it works in the most rudimentary sense. To test it, I dug out an old video idea I abandoned during my hipster film photography phase a few years ago, that I admittedly never grew out of. I documented myself shooting the budget hipster special in downtown Waukesha, a quiet little city a short drive from Milwaukee. It was a disaster. I didn't expose or develop the film right, and I filmed everything on a phone that had a horrible camera. I couldn't in good conscience invest time working on something so awful, so this is the perfect task for AI. All I had to do was drag and drop all of the project assets into Clipchamp, give it a title, pick the type of video I wanted it to generate, select the styles I liked, decide on the length of the video, and in less than 5 minutes, I had an edited video. I repeated the process a few times to get a better sense of what Clipchamp is capable of, and I've skimmed through them, but let's watch some of the clips together in full, and I'll give you my genuine first impressions. Before we start, I'm by no means an expert video editor. I'm a photographer who likes to tell stories, who's learning how to edit videos on the fly. I'm slowly finding my aesthetic, and I find that I tend to lean more toward the minimal look, which you can see here in this photography/poetry video I recently made about my post-undergrad travels. I wanted to see Clipchamp's take on the minimal aesthetic, so that's the style I picked for this first video. Let's see how it did. Like I said, I've skimmed through this, but I've never watched this in full. Right off the bat, this music is really weird. I don't know if this is copyrighted. I'll have to check. Okay. I don't know what this, like, 3/4 of a shot, then, like, the other fourth of the shot on the right side is. Some weird, like, retro vibes. Holy Christ. I'm kind of at a loss for words. I don't know. This doesn't strike me as very minimal, if you know what I mean. Okay. What are these particle effects? Oh, okay. So it's kind of like a logical sequence. Okay. So it's like the first time that's happened. Okay. But we're really just kind of jumping around. Okay. Just throw the Confederate flag in there. And then jump to the abandoned building. Is this what minimal is supposed to look like? Have I been doing minimal wrong? Do I have a incorrect understanding what minimal is? There's something really jarring about, like, the visual pairing with the audio. This feels like the type of song you would put over something a lot more hype. I wouldn't classify this as hype. Okay. So it's very choppy. That's the first thing I noticed. There's no logical sequence to it. It's just kind of jumping all over. And for some reason, I believe this footage is flipped. Yeah, if you look at the words, it's mirrored. I don't know why I would do that. But this footage is normal. Okay, back to the Confederate flag. Is this the end of the video? I don't really vibe with this, like, 3/4 Wait, that's not it, is it? Oh, it really is. That's the entire video. Uh, okay. I feel like I need to process this. Immediate first impressions. It's not great. It's just really weird. There's no real cohesive story. Not that there was when I filmed it, but I don't know. There's nothing really tying these shots together. It's just kind of cutting it, and I don't think it's really cutting it to the beat either. It's just kind of mashing it together. I'm not 100% sure what Clipchamp is designed to do, how exactly the AI is programmed to edit video, what it's looking for. I was kind of hoping that it would look at like metadata, take the time information of when it was shot and then use that to maybe tie together a sequence. But I can tell you that it's just kind of jumping around. To be fair, if it is doing that, maybe it got thrown off because the film photos don't have an accurate timestamp that correlates with when it was shot. So it's just jumping all over the place in terms of the timeline, in terms of when things were shot. And it's kind of jarring. I selected it to make a slideshow just because it seemed like the most logical thing. I'm not sure how it would change if I selected it to make a memory video or even a wedding video. I find it interesting and kind of weird that it has these different types of videos you can select for it to make, because I don't really know how you get an AI to edit something like a wedding video. Are they training it using different wedding videos, different slideshow videos, or is there a particular formula that they've just kind of coded in and that's just what it spits out? That's too high level of thinking for me. But this is one of the things that is confusing to me about how you would approach editing from an AI standpoint, because there's so many little subjective things that go into making a cohesive edit. As far as the minimal aesthetic goes, I'm not really sure if Clipchamp knows what that is. This is not what I would consider to be minimal. I mean, you have these funky, cool, but funky vaporwave type backgrounds. I don't really understand that. Tonally, it doesn't make sense. Obviously, the most egregious thing was the music. It feels like every one of those vlogs that you see about like a really cool vacation or something like that, where people are constantly flipping off boats and off high places. Definitely not the vibe for this video. And to be fair, the thing is, Clipchamp offers you the ability to go back and edit stuff. You can take what it gives you, what it generates from the AI, and then you can bring it into a timeline and edit it from there. So it's not like all of this is set in stone. The AI is supposed to be more of a first step, and then you can refine it. But if this is the result that it's spitting out, I mean, I would save more time just editing it from the start. So from that standpoint, it's kind of useless at the moment, at least for me. I don't know, maybe if you like this sort of thing, it could save you a lot of time. If you're a content farm, I imagine you would love this. Let's focus on the positives, though. That was, for better or worse, an AI edited video, which would have been unthinkable just a few years ago. I personally didn't like it, but your results may vary. And hey, someone out there must have thought that looked at least passable. So I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Did you think that was minimal? Would you trust Clipchamp's AI video editor to edit your videos? Now, before you go, I thought it'd be fun to see how it edits a video in a vintage style, especially because it's a film photography video. I couldn't help myself. Edits like these usually end up in either the really cringy or really nostalgic category. When I try to do it, it usually ends up being really cringy. Hopefully it does better, but I already know it doesn't. So you should just enjoy. Well, for starters, the music is better. So we're off to a better start now. I don't actually mind that film border. I think it's pretty cool. Okay, we've got like the 35 or 8mm film border too. And it's also slapped a grain filter over everything in real vintage style fashion. Okay, just add in like a half a second clip there. Well, that was a video. In all seriousness, like I said in the beginning, Clipchamp's AI is not perfect, but it's an interesting start that I hope will lead to more useful AI video editing tools in the future. I'm not done playing around with this one though. This was just the first test. No matter what it did with the footage, it was never going to be good anyway. It was an impossible task. But I'm curious, what if I gave it decent looking footage? Could it make a good video then? Stay tuned and subscribe for more. Peace.